Time now for Exploring Idaho. In the middle of southern Idaho's desert stands the tallest single-structured sand dune in North America. At 470 feet, it looks like you just walked onto the set of a sci-fi movie. In this week's Exploring Idaho, Adrielle Tackett takes us to a place where you can camp, you can climb, fish, ride, and gaze into the galaxies.
It looks like a scene straight out of Star Wars, but this landscape is actually the high desert in Idaho, where you can surf sand by day and study the stars by night. Bruneau Dunes State Park is 4,800 acres of pure adventure.
You can go camping, you can go fishing, you can go bike riding, fly kites, go hiking, all the things. But we have two things that most don't, and that's the sandboarding, which is definitely a bucket list. We also have two public observatories here.
Opened in 1967, Bruneau Dunes State Park has become a bucket list destination. Its massive sandscape formed by the Bonneville flood some 15,000 years ago, and still being sculpted by the winds to this day.
We get our wind from the west about half the year and from the east the other half of the year. And so eventually over time, it just swept all that sand up into the dunes that we see behind me.
Park manager Bryce Bialba says the dunes are also studied for space exploration.
There's been some study about the sand movement here to project to future Mars missions as to how the sands would move on Mars when we eventually send some of our exploratory missions there.
Visitors come to hike, ride, even slide the dunes. But in the dead of summer, the scorching sand reaches dangerous temperatures. It's 103 degrees outside today, and this sand is about 130. So when temps top 80, the park's sandboard rentals stop. But for heat-loving adventurers, there are 3 campgrounds always open. The oldest, Broken Wheel, sits less than a mile from one of the park's 2 lakes.
This is the original and most popular campground. This one is great because there's some larger central lawns, so I often see families that'll bring out volleyball nets or they'll play pass.
Another campground, Eagle Cove, was added in 2000, but it's in the middle of a $300,000 upgrade, bringing modern comfort to the desert wild.
We actually xeriscaped it this year, put it on drip irrigation, rocked a lot of the campground in different types of rocks so it just doesn't look monochromatic. And then we added a lot of trees. We still have about 100 plants and shrubs coming in.
No reservations needed for the equestrian campground, with trails leading straight into the backcountry.
We do have about 15 miles of horseback trails, including corrals and year-round water. We've got 5 stalls so people can bring their horses and go for a ride.
As the sun sets in the high desert, this dark sky park becomes a portal to the planets.
The views that we get are just absolutely amazing.
Astronomy ranger Greg Harmon helps lead the night sky experiences. From March to October, the state's biggest public telescopes give visitors a look into space.
There's a lot of things to see. Usually we'll start with brighter like double stars, planets if there's anything available, and we'll point out the Milky Way or we'll point out constellations. Our new observatory also has a projection system on the ceiling, and it basically turns it into a mini planetarium.
And if you're up for one last exploration, head into the dark desert for a glow-in-the-dark scorpion walk.
We actually have a few of our park aides that go out and they give talks about the scorpions and how to find them. We have 3 different species here in the park, and so they find those with the UV lights.
A place for sandboarding, stargazing, fishing, scorpion searching, or just sitting back to enjoy the view. Bruneau Dunes State Park is in between the Treasure Valley and the Magic Valley, and it welcomes tens of thousands of people every year. For Exploring Idaho, Adrielle Tackett, Idaho's News Channel 7.